What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, Dirty Shore Underground bonus episode, Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 3.
Yes, indeed. Make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com. New episodes of the podcast every Thursday. Bonus episodes whenever the hell we feel like it. Dirty Shore UG on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you to everybody who's joining on the live stream. As always, if you follow us on social media, you can get the links to the live stream and participate in the conversation. YouTube/C/Dirty Shore UG-OTA is where you'll find it. So, as always, here's our spoiler alert, especially today. If you have not seen Season 6, Episode 3 of The Walking Dead, if you haven't seen any of The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, stop listening now, because everything that we're going to talk about is going to be spoilers for that show, which we just watched, and which I am still stunned by. So stop now and go watch it and come back. But let's cover the big thing first, because everybody's talking about it.
Yes.
I think we should start the hashtag, and I think you tagged this.
Yes.
Yeah?
Glenn's not dead.
Hashtag Glenn's not dead. Glenn is not dead. That's going to be my number one thing right now.
Yes, and for all the people that I've already talked to on Facebook said, I rewatched it, he's dead. No, they didn't show him dying. The blood and guts you seen came from Nicholas.
And so, yeah, so let's start with that. Number one, you were saying that Talking Dead didn't have him in memoriam.
Nope.
And what I was going through with people on Facebook is, technically he isn't dead. What we see is him screaming.
Yep.
And occasionally what they do is they don't put it in memoriam until later on somebody finds the body. That's happened 2 or 3 times where they see them dead and they're like, oh, I guess they didn't make it, and then they come back. But I don't think this is that.
No.
This is, and we did a reenactment outside, which I think is very fitting. So, set up the scene for people, which one we're talking about, which I hope they know.
Standing on top of the dumpster.
Right. Fence on one side.
2 sides.
No, well, fence is on the back side.
Yeah.
And zombies on the other side of the fence. Yeah.
Which, why didn't they go the other way? They didn't see no zombies there on that side of the fence.
No, they were on both sides.
But
yeah,
there's this fence and this fence?
Because when they first ran up, Glenn went to jump over the fence and the zombie reached and grabbed him. So they're okay, zombies on the other side.
Alright. Well, anyway, standing on top of the dumpster, Nicholas shot himself in the head, as you seen.
Mm-hmm.
Spins around into Glenn, and they both fell off the dumpster. And if you didn't pay attention to it and all you seen was a chaotic mess, you see Nicholas's body land on top of Glenn.
Right. Well, we don't see that.
Right.
What we see is Nicholas's body does like a 270-degree spin and backs into Glenn, who got sprayed in the face by that. That was one of the most epic shots I think I've seen in any of The Walking Dead, where we see Nicholas, we're right here with him, and he's like, thank you. And it just flips to Glenn, splatter. And he did a great job. Stephen Kuhn, is that his last name? Great actor. Not even when I watched it the second time did I see him telegraph that it was about to happen. He was really good at, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna flinch before it hits me, because they have a cannon, an air cannon right there next to him. Didn't do any of that. Just stand still, splash. Body does a 270-degree turn, and that's what knocks Glenn off. Because otherwise, people think about it. Something knocks Glenn off. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just and first of all, defies the laws of physics. Nicholas shot himself and then fell in the direction of the shot. And we could do a little, what is it, All the President's Men, or shit, I can't remember the name of the movie with Oliver Stone, where he's back, Kevin Costner is back into the left, back into the left. When you shoot yourself in the head, I can guarantee you your body is going to continue in the direction of the gunshot, not turn around and fall off. That aside, what we see is that he turns, and as he falls backward, Glenn gets caught in him, gun in one hand, knife in the other. As they fall, we see that Nick also has the gun in one hand and the knife in the other. When he hits the ground, we don't see him hit the ground. We see his head hit the ground. And now we're over top of him, and we see his face, and the guts are coming out. But I think that's going to be the key. The key is that it's not Glenn. It's I mean, taking this back, we learned we learned an important lesson that applies here from Michonne.
Mm-hmm.
What did we learn from Michonne?
Keep yourself covered in blood, and if you got a couple walker pets around you, you're pretty damn safe. We learned that in season 1 with Glenn also, so
that's
he's not
true.
a dummy.
Oh, I had completely forgotten about that. He already knows that if he's covered in walker, that the other walkers don't know that you're there. So, also, I'm trying to remember, I'm racking my brain, and I can't remember when, but I think it did happen. There was another occasion where somebody got surrounded by walkers and then crawled out of the crowd and like basically popped up on the backside of the crowd like, well shit. But it's not just The Walking Dead. That's happened in a lot of zombie flicks where like they get so worried about each other that they don't think about the walkers. Sorry, the walkers get so caught up in each other that the person can scurry out and get out. So let's send the hashtag out, and I hate to be a spoiler on Twitter, but hashtag Glenn's not dead, hashtag Dirty Shore Underground. We hopefully, other than The Talking Dead, we may be the first show on the air afterward for people to watch. So hashtag Glenn's not dead, get it out there.
Although they weren't saying on their show.
No, they weren't. They were just.
And we're flat out saying it, so spoiler again.
Well, and I was gonna say the good thing about it. Is that they have the deniability for the memoriam because we don't know that he's 100% dead. But we also had so many not main characters, but of the group die, that it would make sense that like, well, we can't have everybody on the show, so they didn't have him on the show. And that's all I saw. All I saw was the flash of the couch, an empty seat in the middle, and thanks, Karina, for the hashtags. If you're watching along with us on YouTube or on the live stream especially, hashtags are there on the right-hand side. Make sure you get those hashtags out there. Glenn's Not Dead, DSUG, and OTA. But the other person that I think we have to worry about is Rick.
Yes.
What's going on with Rick?
Rick, he snapped again, to say the least.
Well, and I think you saw something that I saw but didn't make the connection until I talked to you about it.
The baby food.
The baby food. So when he snapped the first time, it was about
his wife.
And I can't remember her name. Lori. And so he snapped and was like out of it. And do you think he thinks Judith is dead?
I don't think he knows for sure, but I think just seeing the baby food and he knows that they were the ones that were there. That's why he unloaded a full clip of AK-47 through the side of the RV on the rest of them.
First of all, he went ham on the two guys who were in there.
Oh, yeah.
So, one thing, let's go back real quick, because he's not 100%. He got a cut on his hand, and spoiler for those who haven't read the comic, the one thing I do know about the comic is he lost his hand in, like, the first set of comics. So he's been rocking, like, the Herschel nub since real early in the comics. And I think that's what they're setting him up to do. What do you think about Rick with one hand versus two?
I think it'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For the like we talked about last time, I think they'll set it up to put something on his arm just so that they don't have to do CGI on it all the time.
Well, and I think what they took from the comics, they gave to Merle, right? Because in the comics, he has the knife. He doesn't have the knife on the nub?
It's just bandages.
Oh, shit. Okay. I thought for sure they put something on there.
No, not
all right,
at all.
Well, so maybe not, but we saw with Merle that it's possible that they don't necessarily have to do CGI. They just do some, like, okay, make a fist, and we're going to wrap this metal thing around it, and then give you a badass knife on the other end. I don't know why they wouldn't have a knife. I mean, in the comics, maybe they didn't think about it, but if it were a zombie apocalypse and I lost my hand, I'd be fucking Bruce Campbell from, or Ash. I'd be Ash.
Yeah, just tape something on there and get it done.
Or put, like, a little, like, have you seen the commercials for Ash versus the Evil Dead?
I can't wait.
He's got, like, a locking mechanism where, like, the guy throws the chainsaw at him and he's like, that is what I would install on my hand. It would just be, like, a total, like, make the locks on a bunch of different stuff.
And we're back. Sorry about that. We had some internet issues.
And I'm going to send you an advertisement that you can put in there. Yeah. So you can put it in the break.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
There we go.
So anyway, so we were talking about Rick. Mm-hmm. He didn't get bitten.
No.
He didn't get hurt. Again, that's another scene I went back and... This is the first time I've had two things I had to go back and look at to try and figure out what happened.
Yeah, usually it's me watching the rewind later that night to catch something I missed.
Well, but so what happened was when he came up on the first 3 walkers in the road, he used his own knife in the head of the first walker, and it broke off. Which, by the way, not such a good knife. Maybe not a knife you want to be having with you all the time.
Not if it's the one he's had since season 1. That thing was done.
It could be that, I mean, they've gone away from the comics so much so that I think the hand he loses in the comics is about getting bit and chopping it off, right? Is that not it?
The governor chopped it off.
Governor chopped it off. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we saw with Herschel that that when it looks like infection setting in, man, you just gotta fucking take that thing off. So it may be that they do the same thing, or it could be a red herring just to get us to talk about.
Well,
Oh, is he gonna lose his hand?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I hope he does. I don't know if Rick can be Rick without 2 hands though. But I guess if we're on the verge of another breakdown, we don't know what could possibly happen.
Well, and again, we're back.
A little bit of technical
Comcast
difficulties
is
tonight.
being assholes tonight, or possibly AMC.
I think AMC's trying to take us down because we're pushing hashtag Glenn's not dead. Make sure you get out there on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, hashtag Glenn's not dead. That's what what we're pushing tonight. So we're still talking about Rick. The last time we saw him snap, he went like off the deep end, and I don't know. Well, that was because Laurie was really dead, though. The question is, if Judith is obviously not dead, as far as we know, anyway, she's not dead. So if he gets back, do you think that'll change it? Is it because Laurie was dead and he was kind of grieving, or was it just?
I think he'll still have a moment.
Yeah.
I think he might call her up on the phone one more time.
Is Glenn spelled with 2 N's?
Yes.
I
It
didn't
is.
know that. Okay.
Yeah. So we you've been calling for when you wanting him to get the phone back.
Yeah.
And so maybe it'll happen. I mean, they're in a town, there's phones around, so maybe it'll happen. So, and another thing that I think is interesting you brought up is that Daryl's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And Daryl has been a lone wolf a lot of the time, but some not lone wolf characteristics tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he kind of acted on his own, but it was like, I'm going to go save everybody at the town when he rode off. So the question is, was he saving everybody at the town, or was he worried about Carol at the town?
I don't know. I thought he was heading for Rick, and when the shit in the RV started happening, I expected him to just see an arrow.
Right, but but at the end we
Yep.
see that he joined back to the back with them. So
That was a waste of gas, man.
and this is what I was thinking. They've been driving for like 2 hours now.
Mm-hmm.
That car probably gets 18, 20 miles per gallon. Are they gonna have to stop and fill up?
I don't know. They
After
said they're
a while?
only going out 20 miles, so.
But I think it's more that the engine's still running, even though they're only doing 2 miles an hour. You get worse gas mileage that way. So it might be that that I was trying to think, how would you do that? How would you refuel if you need to refuel in that situation?
I don't know, because they're not exactly too far behind them, are they?
And Daryl has maybe a 3-gallon tank on the bike,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not taking this huge fucking detour wherever he went. But yeah, so do you think he was going back to Rick? Was he going to the town? Where was he headed?
I think he was going for both.
Okay.
I think he wanted to catch up with Rick, and then both of them hit the town at the same time.
I'm still hoping for a Daryl and Carol.
I think we've all been looking for that since season 2.
Come on, guys, get it together.
And then
You're
they
killing
had the
off
moment in
characters.
season 3 on the bus.
Right. Yeah.
Carol's all like, "Want me to go down first?" He's like, "Stop."
And I always have problems with Carol because I feel like she's younger than I think she is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Daryl's probably in his my age, maybe a little older.
He's, character-wise, I don't know, but Norman
Right.
Reedus is like 45, 46.
Right, but I think he's playing younger than that in the show. And Carol is also in her 40s. The
Mhm.
character, or the actress who plays Carol, is also in her 40s. But she looks like she's playing 40s. But I thought another interesting thing on that topic is we saw, I think for the first time, a couple who wasn't Glenn and Maggie, who got married after everything went to shit. Like, 'cause for some reason I had in my mind that Glenn and Maggie were something different, that didn't really happen.
Mhm.
But we heard from Steve. Steve, was that his name? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember his name. One of the townspeople.
Oh yeah.
That he met his wife and they got married after.
You're not the only one using the hashtag Glenn's not dead.
We started it. God damn it.
No, you didn't.
Damn it.
Well, and here's what I'll say is that it may have been popular, but we are the ones spreading it.
It started
That's the
50
thing.
minutes ago by
Yeah.
Ashley.
So, for those of you who are watching on the live stream, and for those of you who check out the YouTube link either, AMC has chimed in. AMC Movies. This is AMC. We will send our
We're getting in
contact
trouble.
to you.
Yes.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Unfortunately, American Movie Classics is what AMC stands for, so the real AMC wouldn't have AMC Movies. It's like saying ATM machine. ATM actually stands for Automatic Teller Machine. So you're saying ATM machine. This is American Movie Classic Movies. So it's clearly not. I do like that they are, whoever that is, props to you, whoever that is. So, so we see a couple, or we don't really see the couple, we see the guy talking about how he was so lost and then they found each other. And I think it was, given what happened later, it was really like a bigger knife. Because that's what happened for Glenn and Maggie. They got together after it, they saved each other, this whole thing developed. And so we get to see this guy, and I think he's saying all the things that Glenn would be thinking at his untimely end, if that's what happened. And neither of them got back to see their wives. It looks like Steve, which is what I'm going to call him, is not going to get back, unfortunately. So,
Almost thought.
Is his name actually Steve?
I have no
I
idea.
almost thought Michonne was gonna get it too.
So-
Michonne would have picked up the letter and took it.
It was on the other side of the fence.
I think
That
she'll
doesn't
go.
matter. Just-
I think she'll go back for it.
You ain't ever reached through the fence when you were little, just,
Not when there's something trying to bite my fingers off on the other side.
I
Did
think
you
so.
reach through it to when a dog is on the other side? Like, come here, dog.
They weren't down that low.
No, okay.
I think she'll go back for it after the herd moves out.
Just go back and get it and take it to her? It might be worth, I mean, it might just be like, listen, I stopped him, but this is what he was writing a letter. Or she might just go and say he talked to me about you and how much he loves you and all that stuff. So, could be that. But, so right now, this, I guess, is where we are.
Check
we
your
are,
Skype.
we are, half of the horde is still following Abram, what is the girl's name?
Natasha, something like
Abram,
that.
Natasha, and Daryl. Now Daryl again.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing we talked about last week was the first week, is it looked like the whole horde went. But apparently not. Apparently it's still pretty sizable coming this way. So they are 5 of 20 miles. I have like a sneaking suspicion that the whole season is going to be them driving out. I really hope not, because I really want them to get like back into it. But
that would keep the number split for more shit with the wolves too.
right,
Less
and
numbers.
I'm thinking that was my thought. Thinking ahead is Abraham might be the guy that you want to have with you if the wolves attack. Like Rick's great, but he's got real military knowledge, and he's got a like. I don't give a shit. Like when he ran off the road, he got that thing. I was like, hey, pop, 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 pop. Just like no bullshit. He doesn't care. So as long as it's on mission, he's willing to do whatever he wants. We have the people of the town. We didn't see a lot of them, but I did like how we kind of got. This one caught us up. The horn was going through the first 10 or 15 minutes, and so then when it stopped, we know what's happening over there. And given the time. Given the time that that things are working, then I think that we're probably right about the same time at the end in both scenes. We have what happened in Alexandria ending right about the same time.
Somebody's gonna make it back just in time for the casserole.
Well, and so I was gonna say, did you notice the guy who takes the gun? The group who confronts Morgan and the guy who takes the gun off of the dead body. I didn't see him amongst the dead at the RV.
No.
And my guess is that they must not be going that way because the zombies are right up on him now too, so they wouldn't be there. So I think that's gonna.
Last time, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I think we covered everything anyway. So.
I was gonna say. So we talked about Rick. We talked about Glenn. We talked
Glenn's
about
not dead.
hashtag Glenn's not dead.
Yeah, I'm not going to put it on there this time.
We talked about Stephen dying. Other than that, the only thing I could think about that I mentioned was The girl who got injured, she fell. She shot the zombies, and what I said was, instead of shooting the zombies, man, save one for yourself. Like, because she shot like 8 or 9 zombies and then fell and got eaten. So.
What does it say?
So we have logged on to Skype. You can find me on Skype at Robert Ed Cheek.
I put it up there.
And it's open. And we are getting Skype from Anonymous, which is great. I actually work with a lot of guys in Anonymous, so it's super fun that they are using that. And I'm guessing that Anonymous doesn't have a single Skype. But remind me to tell you sometime the story about the weird calls that I used to get. There's a book coming up in the spring that I wrote called The Calls, and it's based on a real thing that happened to me. But anyway, so son of a bitch. All right, so let's just keep going. So is there anything, and I'm going to log off on this too.
What did it say?
Asked if we wanted some pizza.
Want some pizza. We're private contractors. It comes really quick. All right. There we go.
Oh, so,
All right,
we're not doing this anymore?
No.
Now it's just a waste of time.
All right, so other than that, is there anything else that we need to talk about? I did like when Rick ran back to the RV and you saw the pile of zombies that got smashed against the
I
wall.
love that. And some of them they're just like, ah.
I mean, but other than that, I think what we were saying at the end when it cut is that the timelines look like they're about lined up.
Yep.
Because we know the wolves are fleeing. That's how they saw Rick. Other than that, I don't know that there's anything else going on, except for hopefully we'll get a little bit of reunification next week. Rick's on his own. Glenn's on his own. Everybody else, it looks like that whole crew looks like they're making their way back to Alexandria.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the car and the bike headed out with the horde. And I really thought that plan would have been more of the season. But we are at episode 4. Are they doing 8?
It's 8 and 8.
8 and 8. So
we're on episode 3.
Right. So but we're going to be next week, and it looks like the horde plan has gone as far as it can go, which is good because I think that means the wolves are going to be the next big thing that's going to come in. So. And you know Rick's policy, we don't hide anymore. We take it to them. Yep. So yeah. Any other than that?
There was the one thing, the conversation between Rick and Michonne and Glenn about
that got overheard by the other guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not all gonna make it. Don't worry.
When I think though that one thing that if I was writing the show, I would have said. Is that everybody kind of looked around in horror when Michonne got the guy who thinks Rick gets a fault for everything before he was dead. And like I would have had Rick look around and be like, I expect any of you to do the same for me. Because there's nothing good. I mean, his throat was ripped out. He's going to die. Put him out of his misery and make sure he doesn't come back. I think that's the only thing you can do.
One less zombie you have to deal with.
Right. So, but I mean, there was like that horror a little bit that be like, hey, listen, Rick just did that to your other buddy a little while ago. So it's kind of what you got to do, I think. But I think that the guy with the dreads from town, the one Eugene was like hair game 1 point or whatever. I think that he understands. He might be the only one of the town that understands. Like you got to do what you got to do. If there was one person over here that conversation, it was probably him. That he's the best one because he's going to take it exactly how he meant it. Like, you need to go and get back. If they slow you down, leave them. And guess what?
They slowed him down.
They slowed him down. Although the one guy shooting his friend in the leg, come on, man. Don't shoot if you don't know what you're doing.
They might have all made it back in one piece had he not pulled out his fucking gun not knowing what he was doing.
And but he got his in the end anyway.
Yep.
So, but I mean, it's. I think we're leading into season 4 where they're all probably going to come back together. Or it's not episode 4. They'll all come back together. Nick and Glenn will be somewhere on the outside, and then they got to decide if they're going to stay or get back on the road.
Be nowhere.
Not Nick. What did I say?
You said Nick.
Rick and Glenn. It's been a long day.
One letter difference screws everything up.
God, it's been a long day. But so I mean, I'm looking forward to that. One, to see the reveal that #Glenn's not dead, and to see what happens with Rick, obviously. See if he hears the cell phone ringing in the RV. And then it's Carol's a badass. I didn't realize how much I was going to miss her, but I did miss her this episode after the last one.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Not the Carol part, Rick answering the phone in the RV.
Yeah.
Just opens up next week.
Yeah.
Doing stuff and things.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't even know that I can say anything about where it's going to go from here. I don't know. I mean, I think obviously Rick and the zombies is going to be an issue. Glenn and the zombies is going to be an issue. But otherwise, it's coming back together, and now we have to deal with the wolves. So
the writers are doing a good job of keeping everybody on their toes this season. That's for sure.
And they said that episode 2 didn't do as well as episode 1, and didn't do as well as any episode last season. And I just know Robert Kirkman was sitting in his chair like, oh, just wait. Wait till we see what we got for episode 3. So, but that's a good thing. Who knows what's going to happen? Episode 4 is coming up next week. It could really be anything.
And because of the way this one ended, next week everybody's going to tune in to find out, is Glenn dead?
Is Glenn dead? And is Rick going to die? And does everybody make it back? And the other part of that is, do Natasha and Abram and Daryl.
It's unknown.
Yeah, it's probably them calling.
Yo, this is fucking creepy.
Pick it up. Let me take
Green's gonna be freaked out tonight now.
Oh God.
So
Can we trace your internet IP back to your house?
Is it unknown? Pick it up. Let me talk.
Answer
let me
that.
talk.
I
I'm gonna
swear
answer
to
it.
God.
Is that unknown?
Yeah. Put it on speakerphone.
How do I do that? Hello?
Hi, this is Gary from Pop John's. Is this Kenny?
No, it's not.
Oh, we got an order for over $1,000 at our store. I'm pretty sure this is a hoax, but we just wanted to call and confirm. So this isn't. You guys didn't order this?
No.
Okay.
Where did it?
Sorry about that.
Did it come from this phone number?
No, it came from a web delivery, so we're actually unable to track that.
Ah.
Other than just calling and confirming if it's real or not. So
Yeah, I didn't know you guys. We're in Denton too, so I didn't know you guys delivered this far.
yeah, we actually just opened a new store here. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, sorry, it's not us.
okay, cool. We just want to make sure.
All right, thanks.
Have a great night.
All right, bye.
And that's the same people screwing around because there's
no Papa John's in Denton. Yeah.
Are they? How did they get our shit?
Because our numbers through Comcast, hackers can get your IP easily. Yeah. It's not hard to get.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have people fucking with us all the time?
No, probably not. But that was definitely the guy, because there's no Papa John's.
Why did you tell them we were in Denton?
Because that's the only way to find out. Because there is no Papa John's here. And if they know your phone number, they already know your number.
And they probably know where we live, so.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's just
I could have found that.
People being stupid.
Yeah. It's somebody from Russia or
He doesn't sound like he's from Russia.
He's somebody that has no life.
Mm-hmm.
And is obviously pissed off. He could probably still see it.
Yeah.
Why? Is the camera still going?
Because I didn't turn it off. Just because it got disconnected don't mean he can't surf in through the IP and see through here, or even see through either one of our cameras. So.
Welcome to technology.
My light's not on. I'm good.
Yeah, but you can actually be recording with the light on.
Yep. Hackers can do that too.
All right, so
that's why I leave my laptop closed.
Let's cut it back in here again and just finish up real quick. All right. So the other question is going to be whether or not Abram and Natasha and Daryl just hit the end and just keep going. Because, I mean, I got the sense that if something went wrong in Alexandria, they're 20 miles out. They have some supplies. They could just go.
I think Daryl will go back. Because he already tried to.
When I said that, I think that's why they did it. Because if it reaches that point where they have to make that decision, they're going to say, no, we got to go back. Or at least Daryl will go back, and we know he'll go back. So.
Because he's sneakier than a lot of the other ones. He can get in and out of places without being noticed.
Yeah. So we'll see. But a lot of stuff building up to episode 4. Looking forward to it. Any final thoughts about episode 3?
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how next week's live stream goes since we've had some interesting stuff tonight.
Yeah, so make sure you check out new episodes of the podcast every Thursday, DirtyShoreUnderground.com. Check out Dirty Shore UG on Twitter and Facebook, so you can follow along with the live stream at youtube.com/C.
We don't have hackers.
/C/Dirty Shore UG hyphen OTA. New episodes of the Antham podcast where you can hear me every Tuesday. ODAnthem.com. Make sure you check out at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks, and robertncheek.com for links to my blog and political and news and all the links, including to Amazon for both of my books. So, other than that, this has been the Dirty Shore Underground. Make sure you join us for our full episode on Thursday and new bonus episodes whenever the hell we feel like it. So, have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy.